morning, you guys. It is Amanda and Barron with Kickin'Cancer Cares, and we are back again. Our sponsor for this second half is Marianne McNally. She is a residential specialist with Next Home Realty Connection. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or just not really sure where to start, she's definitely your go-to girl. Her phone number is 503-409-4389. She is still in her battle with cancer, but I know that doing what she does and selling homes and getting people their information, it fills her cup. So please don't hesitate to reach out to her, and as well as keep her in your prayers.
Well, I did leave a teaser before the commercial break.
Yes, zebras don't get ulcers. So I get ulcers, and it's a problem.
You are going to love this story.
Okay.
Jason told me, and it makes so much sense. So
Right. So there's a book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, and I believe it's by Soleil. And the idea is, if you're a zebra out on the savannah, right, you're eating grass, living life, every now and then a lion jumps out and chases you. Well, so you run, you get all hyped up, your adrenaline's going, you're breathing hard, you're running, and you either make it or you don't. Either way, it's over, right? So let's assume you get away. Let's do the happy ending.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
versus the lion eating the zebra.
Right.
But then the zebra has to calm down, right? I've got to go back to grazing on the savannah. I've got to go back to feeding my belly and just being a zebra. So I don't worry about it. I made it. I got away. It's over. Life
We're back
is good.
to life.
So the stress level comes back down, and now I'm digesting my food, and I'm going to sleep, and I'm taking care of the young. Everything's okay. Well, as people, right, we get away, but then we replay it in our mind. We have these wonderful brains and these prefrontal cortex, and we're like, well, what if there were two lions? Or what if I tripped? Or I better not go over to those trees over there because I bet there's a lion hiding over there. So we stay stressed out all the time, right?
Anxiety from inside out, too.
Anxiety, absolutely. Well, and in the modern world, I don't know about you, I haven't been attacked by many lions lately, but I've got a mortgage, and I've got a job, and I've got a spouse, and I've got kids, and I have all these things.
2 teenagers playing football at Wilsonville High School.
Right.
Or my kids don't want to go to school.
So now it's these what ifs, and we just go round and round and round, and then we're, tight and tense and worried and stressed, and we don't digest our food well because we're so worried about running away from this silly lion that's never going to attack us. So it becomes very important to manage the stress level because that gets us out of that emotional state, the hyper,
Yeah.
And
Well, and I like what you were saying as we were talking about the show is, what are the lions, and I use quotes, what are the lions in your life that you are running away from? Mm-hmm. And once you can identify what's that lion, is that lion your kids that don't want to go to school? Is that lion, oh my gosh, I owe X amount of money to this?
It's always the kids.
It's always the kids, Well,
Let's be honest.
And what's interesting is, you two still have kids at home. My kids are grown up, and the stress doesn't go away.
I believe you.
All three of you guys still have kids at home, and my kids are 30, 36, and 38, and now it's just a different level of stress.
Right.
It morphs. My oldest went through a really nasty divorce, and her ex was being a total jerk, and I felt her stress.
Yeah.
Right?
How can you not?
And then many of the listeners probably saw the reaction on my face when Trevor was telling his story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's his story, it's his life, but I'm still feeling some of his stress.
Yeah.
So even though they're not at home, not wanting to go to school or whatever, the kids are definitely a huge lion in your life. Or you got your own business, right? Mm-hmm. And so Jason's got his own business, and all of a sudden the government says because of COVID rules, you can't have people come into your business. Well, now you've got this whole new stress of how do I pay my bills? Mm-hmm. So the money becomes a stress. We all have different lions in our life. I really, really like that analogy.
I do too. We just have to figure out how to tackle them.
Yeah.
yeah, or sometimes just not worry about it.
Let them be. Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, if there's nothing you can do.
And I think that's a really good point is, the zebra runs. Mm-hmm. And like Jason said, either you make it or you don't. Either way, the event's done.
Right.
Either now you are being eaten by the lion or you're away, but the stress is done.
And what a beautiful thing just to move on just like that.
And the fact that zebras can, and they probably shake off the stress.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, now we go back to eating.
Yeah, in fact, literally shake off the stress. Feel your body move and rock and
which is what
Shake
you
it off.
did
Yeah.
when we were with Kate.
I still use it often.
It's a great way to get out of that
Shake the
stress.
shakes out. Yeah, like let me get you out of there a little quicker.
Well, so again, let me go back for a second. We talked to this in the first half of the show. For the listeners, and for half of the listeners, men are the cause of the stress in your life. And we talked about emotion, which is a very common thing that can cause stress in your life. Emotion. But let's talk about the end. What's the nutrition part, and how does that play in the stress in our lives, Jason?
Well, nutrition, I mean, traditional wisdom says you are what you eat, right?
There
Yes.
you go.
Nothing new about that. And since we're doing analogies and metaphors, and we'll just mix them all together.
Right.
Right. If I give you a task, I need you to go build a house, and then I give you all rusty nails, and I don't give you enough lumber.
Okay.
Right. So I don't give you the products you need to take care of and build your home. You'll figure something out.
Right.
You'll make a structure of some sort. But that doesn't mean it's going to be a quality one. That doesn't mean it's going to last. And you might have some problems. And you might invite termites in because you didn't get the waterproofing done, because I didn't give you what you need. So that's the same idea with the food. If all you eat is junk food, you're not giving the body the nutrition, the tools that it needs, the raw resources to build you the best product. Now, it will build something. You'll get by
Right.
Yeah.
for a while,
Yeah.
but there are costs if you don't have healthy, nutritious food, quality proteins and fats and all the good stuff.
And it's interesting that you say that, Jason, because I just today, I saw a post that went up on social media. I think Ashlie knows what I'm talking about. It was the 14th birthday of this McDonald's meal. And you can tell by the picture and the font in the bag that it came out of that it was 14 years ago. You can tell by the writing on the bag it was 14 years ago. And it was when McDonald's used to do Monopoly as a game to get you to come buy their meals.
I remember
Oh
that.
yeah,
right?
those were fun.
14 years ago. Except now the meal that was in that bag is in front of the bag. The fries still appear to be edible. The bread has not molded one bit. The cheese is a little dried up. The meat is a little dried up. But after 14 years, you would think that the bread would be green and the meat would be disgusting looking.
Or
and
it's just non-existent.
or
You think it'd
non-existent.
Decompose.
The
Right.
outcome product of what is that? Chemically modified foods.
Chemically
Okay.
modified
Not
food.
even really food.
Yeah.
And so
Food-like products.
A little
food-like
dash.
products.
Yeah.
A little
So,
dash.
like Jason said, you can put some rusty nails, you can put some food in your body. This is food. But after 14 years, and I'm literally, it was on social media
Yeah.
today, and Ashlie saw it, a 14-year-old birthday to a meal that has not aged one bit. That is really scary.
So this is where I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Todd Frisch, who founded Shape Reclaimed. He was a chiropractor that I studied under back in Missouri. But he gave me some words of wisdom that really stuck with me, and I'm going to share those. Big build up there.
Okay. But I love it. I love it.
So Dr. Frisch told me, eat food made for human life, not for shelf life. And I just really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I like that.
if the bacteria don't know what to do with it outside your body, they're really not going to know what to do with it inside your body.
Yeah.
So you'll never digest it.
Yeah.
Fair.
And a phrase that Brenda uses quite often, and I don't know if she stole it from somebody or made it up herself, doesn't matter. She says if it takes a laboratory to create it, it probably takes a laboratory to digest it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I like that too.
I do too.
You know?
I just recently seen a video on TikTok where a guy took McDonald's fries and put it on an anthill and let the ants eat it. And they actually, so then he came back to it. So I don't know because it didn't do like a time lapse of watching it all happen or if there was something on the fries that he put, but they were pretty much left up untouched. And then the ants that were still there around it had died.
Oh dear.
So what I'm going to tell our listeners right now, go to YouTube, go to Kickin'Cancer Productions, please subscribe, and right now you will see that video because I guarantee you Ashley's going to find that TikTok
It was bizarre.
video.
It was crazy. They died around it, and then the rest just didn't even want nothing to do with it. And it's like that's
So
what
if
we
the
consume.
ants won't eat it, why are we eating it?
Right, and if it kills them, then what's it doing to us? It's slowly killing us from the inside out.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we eat it because it's engineered to be delicious.
Right.
And to make you want more.
Yeah.
Right?
And boy,
Yeah,
is it
it's
addictive.
big business. And
Well,
they're
and-
good at it.
And I
They
just
are.
recently saw a picture of McDonald's French fries ingredients list. Now, you would think the ingredients list for French fries would just say potatoes. Like, what else is there besides potatoes in French fries? Not even kidding, there is either 10 or 15 ingredients in McDonald's French fries. How is that even possible?
It used to just be potatoes.
Yeah,
Just
you
potatoes.
should pull that up for a future episode because that's insane.
It is insane.
And that's an eye-opener.
Well, the other one that's insane is, and I know for a fact that we can find this video, it shows the exact same Lucky Charms, exact same box, except what they're selling in Canada has less ingredients than what they're selling us. The United States puts more chemicals in Lucky Charms in the United States than they do in Canada. Why?
They're slowly killing us.
Why?
So many products here in the United States are banned in other countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not even allowed to sell it like that.
I'm
in other
confused, Baron.
countries.
You don't go around chemistry labs just licking petri dishes
Right?
and opening bottles and sampling what's inside?
I know, exactly.
You're missing out.
Yeah,
So weird.
it is. It's really scary that what the U.S. is doing with food is not really food, even close. And yet, these companies know this, and so they go across the board to Canada and they sell the exact same brand, but it's not the exact same food.
Yeah, it's sad. Why do we need all these chemicals? Why are we feeding? And a lot of it is cereal and stuff like that that's more directed towards our children.
Oh yeah.
We're making our children sick with these.
Well, I did see another picture on social media, and it showed McDonald's, and it said,
Sorry, McDonald's, we're hitting you hard.
We're hitting you hard, but you had it coming. But it shows at McDonald's, and it says, this isn't real food. This is a chemistry experience, and your kids are the rablats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lab rats.
Lab rats, thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
They're the rablats. Lab rats.
Starting to sound like me.
Make money off of our health.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's a reason why, for the longest time, McDonald's had play areas at their restaurants. You didn't see Arby's, you didn't see Taco Bell. They didn't have play areas. So they get the kids in, they market alongside whatever movies out there. So the Happy Meal has these things that kids want as far as the movie is concerned, and they give the lab test food inside the bag and let you go play in the play area.
Yep.
Our kids became lab rats.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, McDonald's, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
Yeah.
sad.
We'll see how many comments I get back with my
That will
McDonald's.
keep us sick, right?
Yeah. Keeping us sick under their thumb.
On that note, cancer, all disease, all degenerative disease, cancer just happens to be the big one on that list.
Right.
85% of that is your lifestyle. So 85% preventable. Why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we talking about how not to get cancer? I think it's time to get the megaphone and start helping people take their power back and not get cancer.
Well, on a more positive note on the nutrition side, you showed me this really cool experiment you did in college when it came to these flowers. Can you?
Sure.
And by the way, you can all see this because he's going to send this to Ashley, and she'll pick these pictures up on YouTube for you too.
Right. It's an experiment many people have done, probably in elementary school.
I was trying to give you all the credit.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, so a lot of people, it doesn't always make sense, the nutrition and what do I need to eat, and does it really affect me, and does it really matter if I eat, French fries or something I make at home. So I took some white flowers, freshly cut, and put them in water that had food coloring, different food colors. And just see the progression of the flowers taking up the food coloring and displaying that color it's no longer a white petal, now it's white tinged with yellow or blue or red or whatever food color it is. And the first time I did it, I made a video, and it was actually a competition for standard process talking about nutrition. And it took some time. Well, I tried to recreate this because I knew we were coming on. But the flowers took up the water so fast that I couldn't show a progression. It was just overnight. Boom, they were just super colored. But yeah, it's amazing how quickly your body integrates whatever you eat or consume.
Yeah.
And it shows in your tissue.
But we just absorb it all the
We
way
just
across
absorb
the
it.
board.
Absolutely.
So back to what you said earlier, we are what we eat.
You are what you eat.
100%.
Oh,
That's why I eat a bowl of awesome every day.
Awesome.
That's the trick. Yes.
We're going to create a whole new cereal. It's called Awesome. It's a bowl of awesome
That's
every day. So what thoughts are running through your heads with this whole men are the besides the fact that men truly are stressed, what other thoughts are you having, Amanda?
I can relate with the emotional part. My emotions can take over me, and like you said with the whole zebra concept, the what ifs. I think we get stuck on, okay, if this is the situation, how can I? We're too focused on how to fix things or make them better or control them and to make everything perfect. But then we stress ourselves out the whole way that we lose ourselves in the emotion of it versus living in the now. And so that's kind of what I took most out of.
So I've been doing a little qigong lately, which is similar to Tai Chi. It's a moving meditation. But if you look into the philosophy, kind of an Eastern take, the only bad emotion is a stuck emotion, right? We all get angry, we all get sad, we get happy, we fall in love. It's the ones that get stuck and we don't allow them to flow through that cause us problems.
Yes.
Right? So if you had a trauma when you were young and it's never been dealt with, that can manifest physically. That causes us problems.
Yeah.
So it's the idea of getting out there and doing some exercise and getting your body to move and doing some work on yourself so that whatever you're feeling, you're allowed to feel, and don't fight it, don't hide from it, don't push it away and stuff it down. Let it flow.
Yeah. And I think my life is everything's really good for me right now, but then I've got one kid that just is my problem child. And so that's what gets me caught up. And my husband's like, just let it, it's okay. Just let the cards play how they will, and you'll be okay. But don't lose yourself in it and stressing on the what ifs or things that you can't control or all of that. And so that just plays right into it.
Exactly.
It does.
Well, and it was interesting too, Jason, you just said is, I went through this course recently and they were talking about how to get stress out of your life. And there was all these little techniques that they were walking through. And as I was starting that course, my left ankle had hurt for quite some time. And they said different situations in your life affect different parts of your body. So they said, based upon that part of your body, what's going on with your sister? I'm like, how in the world did you jump from my left ankle to my sister?
Yeah.
Right? Well, Brenda's cancer had come back. That's a whole stress that I'm trying to process, which they said has now moved to my left ankle.
Okay.
And I'm like, really? Like, yep. Certain stresses show up in certain parts of your body.
If you've ever felt old traumas in your body, you're not alone. Your body has a powerful way of holding on to the past. Trauma doesn't just mess with your mind, it changes your body. Let's break it down. First, your nervous system. After a traumatic event, your body stays on high alert, ready to face any future threats. Next, your brain. The hippocampus and amygdala, parts of your brain that handle emotions and memories, get stuck in protection mode. They store the trauma, preparing you to react to perceived dangers, even when they aren't real. But it doesn't stop there. Your muscles, organs, and connective tissues also hold on to trauma. When your nervous system gets overloaded, your body's fight or flight response hits pause. The trauma energy gets stored in these tissues, and your brain disconnects to block the painful memory. This can mess with your declarative memory, the part of your brain that usually keeps things organized. Instead, you get fragments, snapshots, bodily sensations. These fragments can feel like emotional shrapnel, making it tough to move on. You might notice symptoms like depression, trouble focusing, memory issues, sleep problems, feeling overwhelmed, muscle tension, and even nightmares. Sometimes, physical sensations like tingling or warmth mean your body is releasing stored trauma. Muscle twitching or shaking can also be signs of this release. Remember, understanding how trauma affects your body is the first step to healing. Be kind to yourself. Your body is just
So then
trying to
they said,
protect
here's our recommendation.
Yeah.
You need to talk to your sister. You need to process what's going on. So we went through a little exercise together that I called Brenda, and I'm not even kidding, the next day, that pain was gone.
Really?
My left ankle pain had gone away because I had processed the stress of Brenda's cancer coming back.
Right. Well, you went to the source and
Yeah.
you worked through it versus letting it just bottle up inside of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love that we started with the biology, which is a lot of very fancy words in this book. But, you know, you have to control your garden. You have to control the environment and what it's doing to your body. Mm-hmm. So,
There's a song I always think of. Let it go. Let it go.
Yes, let it go.
Which is always easier said than done, right?
Yes. Oh man, it's constant practice to put your emotions at bay, and like you said, we dwell on the what ifs, or what if there was 2 lions? What if there was 3? What if it was in this area, not that? And it's unnecessary.
Well, it's unnecessary, but it's part of the human condition. But we also try to get rid of the lions, and that's unrealistic.
Right.
Life is full of stress, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just make yourself able to recover, to deal with it. And we don't want to be without stress. That's how we grow, right?
Is.
Exercise is a form of stress. So that's how we get stronger and more healthy.
Right.
You know, and you face challenges in life and you overcome them. That's how you get confidence. That's how you achieve. So we're not trying to rid the world of stress. That's never going to happen. We're just trying to be able to
Control it.
control it, you know, put yourself in,
manage it.
Be smart.
Yeah,
But,
manage
you know,
it.
are you able to handle whatever stress life throws at you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do want to give a chance to talk about the fact that there's a reason we're all wearing purple today.
Okay.
So I sent a message to both you and Ashlie to wear purple.
Yes.
But I didn't tell you why.
Okay. You did not.
And I didn't. But I do always ask our guests, is there a why in your life that relates to the cancer story? It's not a huge why, but it does. And by the way, November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month.
Okay.
Our guest next week is the head of the Pancreatic Cancer Society for Oregon.
That's so exciting.
I know. She's going to come down from Portland and bring a pancreatic cancer survivor with her.
That's awesome.
But that's part of Jason's why.
Sure. Yeah, part of my why. Both my great-grandfather and my grandfather died from pancreatic cancer. So I'm very aware of it, and it goes fast.
It does. This shirt is the one that we did for Jason Mowry, who it was 5 or 6 months, and when he was 216 pounds when he was diagnosed, he was 80 pounds when he died.
Wow.
And that was in 5 months.
Yeah.
You know, and if I stopped eating right now, it would be hard for me to go from my weight to 80 pounds in 5 months. That's how fast the pancreatic cancer will eat up your body. Interestingly enough, I asked Jason if he wanted a shirt, and this shirt says,
Just for Jason.
just for Jason.
Right.
Just for
Meant to be.
Jason.
Yeah, so we did want to honor Jason's memory in this month as well. But we do have time, and in my timeline, I tried a little extra time for a wonderful little story.
The angry avocado and the tough cookie.
Yeah. In our timeline, it's March of 2022, and I had intentionally left Costco because it was getting hard to build Kickin'Cancer. So I took a job in the middle of the night working at FedEx, which, by the way, I don't recommend for anyone over the age of 50. That was a really typical job. I was loading the trucks that you see around town, right? But we had decided that every Monday would become Kickin'Cancer Day. We all wore, as whoever wanted to would wear a shirt. As it got colder, some people wanted hoodies. And so people began buying hoodies from me. And this one young gal, probably in her early 20s, wanted a lime green hoodie. Okay, can you tell me why you want lime green?
Yeah.
So she told me about a relative of hers named Autumn Marshall. Autumn had 2 twins named Marcus and Marcello. And parts of this book will be showing up on YouTube. But one of the boys, Marcello, wrote a story about his mom.
Okay.
And I'm going to do my very best to read this to you.
Okay.
And it's really cute because you can see by this picture.
Little avocado. He's doing the drawings. And
Yeah,
it's adorable.
so it's actually illustrated by Marcus and Marcello.
That's so cool.
It's 2 8-year-old boys trying to illustrate the story.
Yeah.
It does say at the start here that Marcello was a first grader at Brush College Elementary School, which is right here in Salem. And his teacher, the school counselor worked alongside him to write this book. In the 2nd grade, Marcus joined the project as the illustrator, and the family is given full permission to share the story.
Okay.
So it says, "Hi, my name is Marcello Avocado, and this is a story about my mother, Autumn. My brother is Marcus, and all 3 of us come from an avocado tree on the Marshall farm. Our story started one summer weekend. It was a warm day. Marcus, Mom, and I were hanging around in our tree when we were all of a sudden picked by the farmer and placed in a wicker basket. The wicker basket tickled, so Marcus and I were giggling all the way to the place where the quality control man examined our avocados. The quality control man turned me around in his hand and said, "Just right." Then that made me smile. He picked up Marcus, turned him around in his hand and said, "Just right." That made Marcus laugh, and he winked at me. Then he picked up our mom, Autumn, and frowned and said, "Yeah, there's something that shouldn't be here." "That's weird," Marcus whispered to me. "I'm confused," I whispered to Marcus. "How could something be wrong with Mom?" Mom didn't say anything, but her eyes got big as she put her arms around us. The quality control man took Mom to a special building and ran tests on her. When he finally told Mom she had cancer, turns out she had lymphatic cancer. We had to go to this big barn and stay with Aunt Sarah. Avocado Autumn cannot come home for a while, he tried to explain to us. Marcus and I stayed with Aunt Sarah, but every night we put our pajamas on and went to see Mom to say goodnight. For 14 days, we stayed at Aunt Sarah's barn. Mom was at the special quality control place being treated for cancer. Every night, we visited Mom. We missed her. We wanted her to come home. There's a really fun picture here of a very red avocado and a very blue avocado. I said I was getting angry, probably the red avocado. Yeah. Marcus was just confused. But we didn't tell each other about it because we didn't want Mom to feel sad. I was having a hard time sleeping. I missed Mom reading to us at night. Again, these little boys are 8 years old.
Yeah.
I kept thinking back over the times that Marcus and I had been naughty or didn't listen or played tricks on each other. I wish I could take that back, right? After a long time, Mom was finally ready to come home. That day, Aunt Sarah, Uncle Manuel, and Mom's best friend, Amanda, all came with us. Back on the farm, we rolled around in the corn maze, played in the sun. Everything was wonderful. Sometime later, Mom had to go back to the quality control to have a PIT scan. The specialist was very sad because the cancer had come back. But I remembered what the experts had told her when they let her go. "Remember, Mom, you're one tough cookie." Unfortunately, and it does say this at the very end of the book, this does not have a happy ending. It would have been December of 21, so 3 years ago. Autumn called the boys and then died 4 days later. So, but it's a very interesting perspective from an 8-year-old on Mom going through cancer, right? And that was kind of what was going on in my world.
Yeah.
And I looked at this girl who wanted and she proudly wore that lime green sweatshirt every day to work, you know. So I'm just going to let our listeners know we will make you a sweatshirt however you want, whatever color you want. I know that Ashlie is going to get a black one that says Kickin'Cancer Productions with her name on it. And we're going to start wearing sweatshirts in honor of whoever you want as it gets colder.
Perfect.
So
I'm going to need a pink one. My mom just finished radiation therapy. She beat her breast cancer.
Yes. And the pink ones are definitely bright.
Yes.
So I didn't read the whole story for sake of time, and it's also a hard story to read, but it's really interesting to see the perspective of a little 8-year-old boy.
That's awesome. Good for them for putting their story down on paper, too.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well, huge shout out to Marianne McNally, who is a residential real estate specialist with Next Home Realty Connection. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or just not sure where to start, give her a call at 503-409-4389, and we'll be back next week
as the movement continues.